Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here some test hands going second for the Magistus deck. This will most likely be the last Magistus video for a while because afterwards I'm planning to go out and buy out the rest of the cards to actually complete the deck. So Zoroark, I'm still looking for 2 more copies. I guess Riliona, I'm looking for 2 more copies, and Artemis, I'm looking for 2 more copies as well. Plus I'm looking for Selene, so that would be fantastic, and overall I'd be able to complete the deck and hopefully put out a new deck profile for it sometime in July, late July most likely, but even so it would be really great if I could complete this deck. However, with that being said, I do want to I guess complete a few things right now just to do test hands going second, and hopefully that does give you guys a bit of insight as to what the deck can do going second, but at the same time also demonstrate consistency with this particular deck after seeing the combo video. Alright, so here's our opening hand. Definitely very nice actually, because we do have every single one of the perform ages, which is not planned obviously because you saw me shuffle the deck, so seeing 3 of them is quite crazy because we're only playing 1 of each and 2 hat triggers, but yeah, that's pretty nice. We got 2 Riliona, so we only need 1 of them, and we have here a Zoroark as well. So I'm thinking to begin here, we obviously can't do anything with the Zoroark being the first card out, so I definitely need to figure out a way to go for an additional summon. So I'm going for Riliona first. We're going to normal summon out our Riliona. This will allow us to search out our Trismegistus. So where is it? Over there. And we're going to activate Trismegistus obviously, which will then allow us to then summon out our Zoroark. So here we go. Zoroark will then equip our Artemis to our card, so we could then use Artemis's effect, allowing us to then search. We already have everything here for the Trick Clowns and all, but we're gonna then search. In this case, Crowley can be our extender, and so what we're gonna do here is we have Crowley out and we have Riliona as well, which is really fantastic. Of course, we could send Riliona to the graveyard, summon out Crowley, but we could potentially do something with the Trick Clown as well, so that would be quite nice. But let's just see here what we could potentially do. So I might move up the space and figure things out here. Now what I will mention is that when we actually did equip the Artemis to the Zoroark's effect did allow us to summon any level 4 spellcaster from our hand, so I'm just going to summon out the Damage Juggler. Since it doesn't really do any good in the hand anyway, it can't summon itself out, so we're just going to bring it out. Its effects are negated, that's fine, but yeah, we still have all of these anyway. So the Hat Tricker could also be summoned out because keep in mind it is 2 or more monsters and we do have that, but I think for the time being let's take Zoroark and let's take Damage Juggler, and we're gonna pretty much synchro summon them and go for our, let's see, where is it? We're gonna go for, should we go for Varum? I mean, it's not necessarily the worst option, but I'm thinking the best option here is to go for the Borreload Savage Dragon, mainly because you get the negates right off the bat, so whatever you want to do now, your opponent's going to have a hard time actually negating it. But with that being said, we opened up 3 spaces again, so we have Hat Trigger, which we just special summon out for free, and we have Crowley, so we simply send Trick Clown to the grave and go for Crowley, and Trick Clown obviously will then re-summon itself out, so that would be fantastic there. So now we technically have a full board again. Really fun, of course, allowing us to do quite a few things. So we could either go for an XC summon, or we could go for another, well, we can't go for a synchro summon, but we can go for a link summon as well. So in this particular circumstance, you have the choice of, I guess, going into something like perhaps Cross Sheep. No, I mean, you could go into Cross Sheep and then go into your Nina Ruru, which would then reduce the life points of your opponent's monsters, allowing you to attack over them. But you could also just go into a lot of different cards. I mean, your options are pretty much limitless here. You could even go into Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus to get rid of your opponent's cards, because you do have Riliona, and then you can link them both away, allowing you to go into an Avramax. So that's also an alternative option as well. Not bad at all. So yeah, one of the options is going for this, but if you don't want to go for that, then all you can do is go for these two first, link them away, and this will allow you to go into an IP, and then we take here our Trick Clown and Riliona, allowing us to go for either Phoenix or Cerberus. You could discard the spare Riliona and then pop one of their cards, and then finally you take IP and the Cerberus and you link away, allowing you to go for your Avramax, which is obviously fantastic. These two are pretty much just huge beat sticks, and yeah, it just does the job. Alright, so here's a very different opening hand. We could definitely still work with this, but it does look quite odd. So firstly, we're going to start off with Endymion. This will allow us to then equip directly from our extra deck our Artemis, and this will allow us to then search for whatever we want. So in this case, we could either go for, we already got Crowley, so there's no point, right? But I think being able to go into something like Riliona might not be the worst idea. So I'm thinking, where is it? Where is Riliona? Over here. So this is my plan. I could actually send Riliona to the graveyard and special summon out our Crowley, which would obviously be fantastic. And then you could just activate your, not mind control, but you could activate your Vitra and bring back your Riliona. And from that, Riliona pretty much allows yourself to add a spell or trap. So in this case, you could take a look and see what you could potentially go for. Well, I'm liking what I have here, so I'm thinking let's just add, you could either add Invocation, you could either add Thurgy, or you could add, where is the Trismegistus? So these are your options. Now Thurgy is not necessary anymore because we already have the Artemis, but you could use Thurgy to equip the Iwas or the Varum or even Nina Ruru to any of your monsters, which I guess is fine, because if you equip Varum then you kind of get that protection as well. Otherwise you could just go for your Invocation like normal. That way you could actually just steal your opponent's monsters, which would be fantastic. So you could activate this and take these two, send them, and you would be able to go into your Iwas, and then pretty much use Iwas to take one of your opponent's monsters. But at the same time, you see what I have over here, you could link away the Crowley and the Riliona, and this would allow you to then go into your IP Masquerena. So by doing this, you could actually go for World Legacy Succession, bring back whatever you actually want from the graveyard, take the mind control to steal one of your opponent's monsters. You're going to assume that they have at least something, but I'm just giving it the benefit of the doubt for the whole purpose of doing a test hand demonstration. You're going second anyway. So take the mind control, take their monsters, and you're going to link them both away and pretty much allow yourself to go into either Cerberus, you could even go for Cross Sheep, you could either go for Phoenix as well, whichever card you feel is appropriate, and then you just link them both away, allowing yourself to go into an Avramax. So you have Avramax and you steal one of your opponent's monsters using Iwas as well, boosting it up by 1000 and attacking together with the Avramax onto your opponent. That's really powerful. Not to mention, you have here the Pot of Desires, so firstly I'm going to shuffle my deck and then use it. Alright, so here we're going to activate the Pot of Desires, and we're going to bench the top 10 cards of our deck. So 5, and another 5, and then we're just going to draw 2 cards, so 1 and 2. So we have here an Ash and we have Invocation. Not the worst thing, but kind of sets us up for next turn at least. But we just banished all of these, which is okay. And we also banished off, what else? All of these here as well, which is not necessarily the worst thing. A lot of these we have 3 of in the deck anyway. So with that being said, you kind of set yourself up for the following turn, and you're also dealing a bunch of damage. That's definitely fantastic. Alright, so here's a very different hand. What I do like is the fact that we have here an Ash Blossom, so during your opponent's turn you could actually disrupt them with the Ash, so you're potentially preventing them from actually going into too much of an advantage here. That's fantastic. We have Reliona and we have Mastery, or Endymion in this case, so I'm going to normal summon out the Reliona, and this will allow us to then search for our Trismegistus. We could then activate our Thurgy, allowing us to then go for our Equip, and this will allow us to then search for our... Well, actually, you don't have to go for Thurgy just yet. Instead of going into Thurgy right now, what we could do is go for Trismegistus, summon out the Endymion. Endymion can then equip the Artemis, and then you could search out your Crowley. That would be a fantastic move in that particular point. So with that being said, you have all of these now, so what are you going to do? Well, you do have the Crowley, so you could send Artemis to the graveyard, summon out Crowley. We could take Crowley and Endymion, because Crowley can change levels or attributes, sorry, overlay them, and you could potentially go into your Bahamut Shark, detach a material, so we're going to detach the Crowley because it has a graveyard effect, and this will allow us to summon out our Totally Awesome. So that would be fantastic. We get a negate right off the bat. We also have over here Mind Control, but we also have here Thurgy as well. So we have quite a few options. Go for Mind Control, take one of our opponent's monsters, and we could link it away or even overlay, depending if your opponent has a level 4 monster, and that could potentially go for Nina Ruru. You could then take Thurgy and equip our Varum to the Nina Ruru, which would actually be a very nice and nifty combo to actually go into. But we can't assume that the opponent has a level 4 monster on the field. I mean, it's really unlikely that they're going to have something so vulnerable. So with that being said, I'm going to come back to that later, but we can go into our Pot of Desires. So we're going to shuffle our deck and see what we get. Alright, so firstly we're going to activate Pot of Desires, and this will allow us to then, I guess, banish off 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice, so what did we banish off? Quite a few cards here, but not necessarily the worst. Both our Relionas are gone, unfortunately, and Vitra's gone as well, but let's see what we actually can draw into. 1 Endymion and 2 Nibiru. So not necessarily anything we could do at the moment. So we're going to take Mind Control, and we're going to take one of the opponent's monsters and link away our Reliona plus the Mind Controlled monster, and this will allow us to go for either Phoenix, you could go for Cerberus, or you could even go for Cross Sheep as well. So whatever option suits you best, and plus you have all of these as a follow-up as well. So that's not necessarily the worst hand as well. Quite nice indeed, and somewhat breaks the opponent's board in a certain kind of manner, so they're definitely going to have to try and recover from that. But with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this particular video. If you did, drop a like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. This was definitely a very fun deck, but I definitely would have wanted to do a bit more, and I think that would be possible by joining it with different archetypes. I was actually thinking about joining this with Shadows next, so let's just find out how that actually turns out. But the main goal is to get every card I actually need. Bahamut Shark, Totally Awesome, 2 Relionas, 2 Artemis, and 2 of the Zorua as well, and that would be very fantastic. However, with that being said, thank you all for actually joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.